That's very, very rock and roll. So what this is my my Cheapsynth project that is made out of an old Rock Band 3 keyboard that you can now get on eBay or Computer Exchange for about 10 quid, and of course an Arduino, again quite reasonably priced. I think there's about 15 quid's worth of components in there. These Rock Band keyboards were designed to go with the Rock Band game, but they're also MIDI controllers. I don't know if you can see the little old-fashioned 5-pin MIDI thing in there. So literally, I was racking my brains trying to work out what the cheapest MIDI instrument you could plug them into was, and it is of course the Arduino, which will quite happily run the Mozzie sound synthesis library. So the sounds you're hearing here, not massively impressive. I think that's just a square wave, which for the audio files will know is just a kind of wave that's going like that, and it's quite a simple tone. What I've managed to get on here, this keyboard's got an Arduino built into it, so it's just sending the audio straight out to this amplifier. What's been added here is a bit of frequency modulation. So it starts sounding a little bit madder as you increase that with this control strip on here. That's adjustable, and it's got what synthesizer people call a low frequency oscillator on there as well. So you should be able to hear that. So that's quite fast, and then that's a little bit slower. And you can essentially what that's doing, it's taking that original square wave that you had, and then bringing in other frequencies which you can adjust with these buttons. So that's quite nice, that's quite science fiction. And the thing I'm most pleased with on this one is that I got it polyphonic as well. So I say polyphonic, that just means I can play 2 notes at the same time. So that's... Anyway, and then I've got a selection of other sounds on here. I think this is... I mean, the best thing about doing all the sound synthesis on the Arduino is because it's running at 16 megahertz. When you get to the limits of that, and the sampling frequency and things like that, it will just make increasingly weird noises. So this one will do. That's quite nice. I like that. That's quite Space Invaders. All right, and then I'm trying to remember what these sounds are. I think this is what's called a sawtooth wave. Sounds a little bit more sort of organ-like in this. I think these are slightly detuned. So they're out of tune. And then as you bring them in tune, they give you that sort of chorus effect. And then there's a little bit of... There it's sliding between the notes. And you can also have an excessively long slide. If there's any musical demand for that. And I think this last sound, and this one, for any C programmers watching this, that's taking, I think, the square wave, and then it's doing an exclusive OR operation with a similarly pitched sine wave that you can change. Again, there's a bit of detuning on it. That's not a real low frequency oscillator, that's just interference between the 2 different frequencies. But because it's an exclusive OR operation, it has that slightly noisier sound going on. Oh, and it's still on sliding between them. What I forgot about is that because I'd left that detuning code in, and then when I put it into the monophonic mode, it kept applying the detune to the frequency every time I did it, so now it makes this noise. And even this little bit at the end I quite like. It's completely accidental, but I did enjoy doing that. And because it's an Arduino, obviously, if you don't like my sounds, I can't imagine why that would be. You can create your own. This one here is a kind of sequencer mode. It's not a sequencer you can currently program via the keyboard. And again, it takes pitch from the keyboard. And you can do. So that's I Feel Love, Giorgio Moroder. This is just playing octaves. I use it for Blue Monday. This is kind of bluesy. There's and the best thing about it is, if you try and stop it, sometimes it just goes mad, making loads of unexpected noises. But again, you know, I consider that a bug, not a feature. So yeah, so to sum up, I think, yeah, you can probably get one of these keyboards now for about a tenner. There's about maybe 15 quid worth of components on there, including the Arduino Nano, and you can download all the software for free. So if you've ever wanted to play the keyboard, or perhaps haven't wanted to play the keyboard but just produce some of these crazy noises, check it out. And it's all online at cheapsynth.com.